I think what turned out to be much more important was the type of business plan that we used for tech companies. And here is where I think we made a series of mistakes. As I was saying, we believed in this libertarian idea, but there was this other idea, which is that everything should be free. There had been a huge movement, which is still very popular, to make software open and free. And indeed, a lot of times when somebody is doing some ideological project, one of the first things they'll say is, and it will be open source. Lately they say, and it will have blockchain somehow. but open source was the early sort of key phrase to make something very cool and hip. If you're going to say that everything's open and free, but you also believe in the importance of entrepreneurs and capitalism, you have a problem, because capitalists need to sell something. And if you're saying, well, no, we won't have a regime of property and rights, everything will be public in the information world, but everything will be built by entrepreneurs, it's very hard to combine those two ideas, right? Those are very difficult concepts to connect. So there's really only one solution, and that is the advertising business model. So starting quite early, and I could go into the history of this, it predates Google, but let's say the first famous company that really embraced this is Google. And I love Google. I've sold a company to Google, have many friends there. This is not anti-Google. I want to see Google more successful in the future, so just be very clear about that. But I think Google made a huge mistake with the basic business plan. So at first, this idea of using advertising to fund internet-based companies was kind of cute. Like you'd see a little ad for a dentist near you or something like that. That was okay. The problem is that was, how long ago was that? I mean, it was 18 years ago or something. And in the time since then, Moore's law has continued, so the chips have gotten faster and faster, cheaper and cheaper. The computer storage has gotten cheaper, so computing has just become bigger and bigger. Everyone is more and more connected. Everyone has a device on them all of the time, which didn't used to be true. The algorithms have gotten better. We've learned more about how to make machine learning algorithms. And if you combine it all together, what started out as advertising has evolved into something very different, which I think can only honestly be called continuous behavior modification at a massive scale. If you're constantly measuring a person and you're creating and adjusting the feedback to that person based on a model of that person in order to influence their behavior, and you have an algorithm that's running it that's self-optimizing, that is no longer advertising. That is continuous behavior modification.